Hey, how are you, everybody? My name's Shawn Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford.
I'm Chris.
That's Chris. I don't know why he doesn't do his own introduction. Why do I take
That's
his
okay.
voice out of his
Oh,
mouth? That's a horrible thing to do on my
no,
behalf.
you're
I'm
good.
more,
I like being introduced.
I like a hype man, like
Yeah, I'm rarely,
Chris
I'm,
Ford.
I'm rarely ever introduced. Next time we do the trivia, we should introduce each other.
Oh, that'd be awesome. We need to,
I'd be like,
no, we
who
need to
are these
just
people?
We need to make John introduce both of us, and he needs to do it
Oh,
like he's the
yeah.
WWF announcer in the ring. He needs to, or like, do you remember the movie Knight's Tale? Do you remember that movie?
I still haven't watched it yet.
Okay, listen, don't tell my friends this because they'll freak out. But it's an overrated movie. But it's charming. It's got its charms,
Oh,
and
okay.
they've got hot guys in it. But a lot of Heather's probably she can probably hear me through the wall. A lot of people love it, and it's just okay.
I know. It's been on my to watch list for a long time. Because one time I overheard someone talking about it, like, dude, you gotta watch Knight's Tale. Like, this is like Heath Ledger was great in Dark Knight, but he's really great here too. Stuff. And then, like I heard that
I mean,
just tangentially. I'm like, yeah, one day I'll watch it.
he is really good in it, but it's still like, and it is a good like it's an enjoyable movie. I don't know, it's a good movie. It's an enjoyable movie that I watch voluntarily, but for some reason, like some of Heather and some of my other friends like freak out about it. I was like, there's some weird stuff in that movie that just feels wrong and out of place. But Alan Tudyk is in it. Does that name ring a bell to you? That's
Okay.
Steve the
Yes,
Pirate
I know who I
in
am.
Disney, and he's
Yes.
what every Disney movie basically.
And he
Somehow
voices the Joker and Harley Quinn.
Yes, he does. I forgot about that. Gosh, he's Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is my favorite. I'm gonna call it a horror movie, but it's not really a horror movie. Anyway, we're Avatar: The Last Podcasters, and that's Chris Ford, and we'll get John to do that. My name is Shawn Shaler. Today, this episode, we are going to talk about a Roku novel that was announced. Chris read the news a little bit today. I'm going in completely blind, so I'm kind of excited to hear some of the news. And then there's a synopsis released for it as well,
Yeah.
which is pretty exciting because we don't always get that, right? Sometimes we just get that little snippet at the back of the book, or is that what a synopsis is? And I just don't know that because I don't read books.
I'm pretty sure that's what a synopsis
That's what
is.
it is. Okay, so listen, we're all learning things today. But Chris, before we talk about that stuff, how are you? What you been up to? Have you played the Avatar video game yet? I know the answer to that, but I want you to tell the people what's going on.
No, I'm fine. But I still have not played that video game yet because I haven't heard the best things about it yet. And fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I can't get fooled again. So you can't fool me. I honestly miss some of those days. Like where, anyway, I don't want to get to it, but I just miss how a person could have a political belief, no matter which one, and it wasn't like immediately some type of reaction, whether how small or big their reaction is. But I don't know. It was just simpler
we
times then, which
we
is
can
weird
just
because it
make
was
fun
like
of our
post
politicians.
9/11 and but
We could just make fun of our politicians regardless of alignment, and we all chuckled
yeah.
at it, and it was fine. But now it becomes yep, nope, I get it. We
Yeah.
don't need to go too much
Like
farther. I get it.
somebody threw a shoe at Bush and it was
That's
hilarious.
that okay. Listen, I'm not saying that people should throw shoes at presidents.
You
I'm
should
saying
absolutely not do
it's
that.
the
That's not
funniest thing
cool.
that you'll ever see on
That is
camera.
respect the freaking office. Don't do that. But it is
Watching he
hilarious.
ducks them
And it
both,
was just
Chris.
like,
He does a great job. Can you imagine? Listen, you or I would expect us to duck a shoe, right? We both we play those sports. We're
yeah.
young guys, right? He was like in his upper 50s, and he dodged a shoe nimbly. Chris, you look spry. Anyway, fool me twice.
Anyway,
Can't fool me again.
fool me once. Yeah. Or
That's a great,
gosh, we are anyway.
great little Frank Caliendo. Callback.
We got a phrase here, and anyway, so
Chris,
so
you haven't played the game because Game Mill is not going to fool you twice or three times if
exactly.
you bought Kart Racers 1. Listen, Kart Racers 2 and 3, above competent, like somewhere between competent and good, whatever that is. Like you would play them voluntarily, you just wouldn't pick them above Mario Kart, if that makes sense. Kart Racers 2 and 3.
Okay.
I guess that's the only positive thing I can think of to say about Game Mill as a publisher.
Yeah. But I gotta get that thing at least $20 off. I think
I think that's
that seems like the yeah.
it started at 50
No,
too, right? So if we're talking about a $30
yes,
game, I've got a lot.
$30 game. I'm cool with taking an L on $30 game, especially if it's Avatar related.
Yeah,
But
100%. Well, thanks for letting me interject that. We just haven't talked about it at all, and I felt a little bad, but we talked about it
yeah.
now. It's official. Chris, what else have you been up to?
Nothing much. Nothing. I really have not been playing anything. Really watch it. One thing I watch is some good propaganda of the rookie. I think I've mentioned
I
that.
didn't
I'm
even know
almost
what you were
done with
talking
that.
about. I mean, it's like, what's a propaganda? Okay, I'm with you now.
And then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna move on to the best propaganda ever, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think I will just go ahead and buy it, but I'll wait until I'm done, which I think I have a couple more episodes to go. I don't think I'm even gonna wait till Black Friday. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine that much, and I'm willing to probably not save. At most, I would think it'll be like
20
$15
bucks,
cheaper.
15 bucks,
Yeah,
yeah.
15, 20.
Yep. Brooklyn
Right now,
Nine-Nine,
70 bucks for the whole thing, which is well worth it.
100%. Chris, it was a big week in our household, not for grown-up reasons, but for the opposite. So the last like month, we've been very busy. Well, this week we have not been busy at all. It's been great. I've been playing Dragon's Crown on the PS4, been watching Modern Family. I've probably watched 15 hours of football, most of those hours with more than one game on at a time. It's been amazing. It's been tremendous. That being said, next week is going to get kind of like we're coming up to holiday shopping season, which I don't care for at all. Like, I don't know how early you guys buy your presents. This is like our holiday shopping season, and I don't care for that at all. But Chris, I did go to GameStop, and I called you from GameStop because we were looking. Listen, so light. I call it light news because we expect it to happen. Is that you have submitted the form for us to have a panel at Planet Comic
I've
Con?
not yet, but I will.
Right, and it's light news because of course we could get a panel. We're very popular in that very specific context.
I just want to clarify that we are legitimately popular. Sometimes we humble ourselves and we're jealous because we are. It would be foolish of this sound. This is the most pompous thing I've ever said. It would be foolish of them not to accept our entry
Basically,
again
our
because we
generous
pack
offer
the room.
to hold people's attention till the end of the day and then hand out prizes that we pay for ourselves. It would be foolish of them to turn us away. No, Chris, we're usually we're humble, but usually we're just accurate, right? We know, we know what our audience is like, and then we know that when we go to Planet Comic Con, we get to feel really popular, and it's cool. So, GameStop's having a huge sale on it's just don't everybody's freaking out. It's like, oh, GameStop's gonna no, actually GameStop has been doing relatively better business than they had in a while. It's their normal pre-holiday clearance sale. That's it, but it's a big sale. So I'm
Aren't you
going in
supposed
there.
to be the GameStop hater?
Oh yeah, I just
You're
bought
over here
Chris.
hyping them up, Shawn.
Chris, and listen to Chris. I said Chris and Chris. Listen to me. The only time I go into GameStop is when I can buy real cheap stuff on clearance. That's not the sign of a good store. That's the sign of a bad one. That's it. It's like Best Buy. I only ever shop their clearance and their open box. That's not a good. That's not a compliment for a store. But anyway, they're having buy one get three free on all their clearance, and there's lots of pops because the pop apocalypse is coming. And so I call you on the phone. I was like, I got to get some of these pops for prizes. And I walked out of there, and my wife sees me walk into the house with three like 1 foot tall shredder pops, and then I couldn't help it, Chris. I got like this massive the what's his name, Unicron from Transformers, and he's
Oh,
like,
you did get that.
I did. I couldn't help it. I was like, he's too cool, and basically it averaged out to like $10 per massive pop. I couldn't resist it, or like $9 per massive pop after tax. So I couldn't resist. So listen, if the random prize that you would like to win is one of a few random massive GameStop exclusive shredder pops, you come to our panel in Kansas City that we're gonna get. But this is my really long-winded way of saying I don't like holiday shopping. I do like shopping for like fun stuff like price. Like I don't want to go buy this person that I have to buy this gift for this exact thing that they told me to get them. That feels ridiculous. Can I just let me give you money and you go get that thing? But I do like buying prizes and things that I'll just hold on to until opportunity arises. Like, this is a perfect opportunity for a foot tall GameStop exclusive shredder pop. It's my favorite thing to shop for. Also, yes, I don't like GameStop. Let's make that very clear. Chris, that's what I got. We're signed up for Con. I'm excited. That's as good of a transition as I have into the news, into today's topic.
Today's topic. That boy Avatar Roku done got himself a deal. A movie, book deal. Which, okay, I'm going to contradict myself all throughout this, I think, because, so this is the news. Roku has a new novel coming out. It is slated to come out July, what is it, July 23rd, 2024.
That's not a real number. John Mulaney.
And this is, part of the Avatar Chronicles books. Why is it dark in your house? Did the lights go off?
Yeah, okay, it looks like our recording's still going. I think my light bulb just burned out.
Huh. Okay, all right, well, that's fine.
But I see our volume's still going and the recording's still working.
Okay. Oh. Volume. All right, cool. Anyway, that's fine enough.
I guess we're doing this now.
I was like, Shawn, why did it get dim?
Spooky season, Chris. Why wouldn't it get dim? Just let me. You keep talking. I'm just gonna get the light bulb a little unscrew and then a little back in.
Okay. Avatar Roku has a book coming out about him. FCE is not coming back around this time. It is going to be an author by the name of Randy Ribay or Ribay. It is Ribay. Oh. You know that guy?
No, I'm surprised I'm surprised that it feels like FC's novels have been very successful. Maybe he's just tired of writing Avatar novels.
Yeah, no, and like I said before, when we did our Yang Chen, kind of our last spoiler review, and I read his last footnote on it, it sounded a bit like a little bit of finality to it. So it made it seem like I got the hint that he was kind of done for now, which I get it. He wrote freaking 4 books.
Not an easy process.
Yeah, and also not in his own universe and stuff. I'm sure he's,
Chris, we're
handcuffed a little bit here and there.
1% done with our book. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Someday.
Randy, I will first go ahead and read the synopsis, and then I'll get into a little bit of other details. Which we do have a synopsis that I have not read yet. So, from National Book Award finalists, Randy Ribay. I gotta figure out how am I saying Randy.
You're trailing off a little bit there, buddy. What was
that? I'm sorry. From National Book Award finalist Randy Ribay comes a gripping new chapter starring Avatar Roku in the New York Times best-selling Chronicles of the Avatar series, set in the world of Avatar: Last Airbender and the Legend of Korra. A young Avatar Roku has only just commenced his training at the Southern Air Temple when his erstwhile friend, Prince Sozin, requests his aid in preventing the Earth Kingdom from claiming a remote Fire Nation island. Despite his inexperience, Avatar Roku slips away with the help of an irritating young airbender named Gyatso. As the reluctant companions delve deeper into their wayward mission, they begin to realize that even greater threats lie ahead. Plagued by self doubt but eager to prove himself, Roku fights for his life and the lives of others while ensuring that the hidden secret of the island doesn't fall into the wrong hands. This searing fifth installment in the Chronicles of the Avatar series explores the beginning of Roku's journey from privileged Fire Nation noble to the powerful but indecisive Avatar, whose hesitancy may ultimately pave the way for the Hundred-Year War. What's your thoughts, Shawn?
Do you want my initial gut reaction right out the gate? I'm happy to give it.
Yes.
I don't care for that at all. That feels like we are. First of all, I don't like prequels that are this close. There's no wiggle room for
Mm,
creativity, right? There's
yeah.
nothing. I know what happens to the end of the story. You can't take away an important character from me. I know Gyatso lives. It's not like he's going to be. So I don't like that. I don't like the fact that they're pairing him with Gyatso. Like, they're trying to tie too many important people together. Like, it's a Marvel, Star Wars, Disney Plus TV
Oh,
series.
this has a little bit of solo feeling
It
here.
does.
Yeah.
Chris. Okay, keep in mind, everybody. I'm gonna read it.
Shawn is very frustrated
I'm gonna read
right
it. This is the first time I've heard this synopsis at all. This is my live reaction, and I'm upset as I've been at anything Avatar related in quite some time. Why?
Wow, that's interesting.
Why? Even when you said Roku novel, I was like, I was giving it the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, young Roku maybe would get a unique story or something. But now I'm immediately
Yeah,
seeing, like, nope, I know what happens in this story.
man, wow. That is quite the response.
Sorry, no, you go ahead. No, what's your? Give me your.
Unfortunately, this doesn't like overwhelm me with positivity. I'm not like, oh man, I'm looking forward to this because like you said, like I we know what happens. We know and they even say that Roku's hesitant and stuff. And also I feel like Roku's PR team came out was like, yo, Korra's PR team killed it. Like, no one's talking bad about Korra anymore. Like, people now
Those
understand
podcaster
Korra.
guys, they're giving him a pass these days.
Like, this guy went from being the most airheaded avatar who didn't care, just go with the flow, people did their own business, to like, holy crap, everyone's feeling for him.
He's a
He had
hero
it
who
so
passed too
rushed.
young.
Yeah. Now they're like, Roku, you need your own treatment. Because people saying you're the worst avatar. People saying that genocide happened on your watch. We gotta give and show a new side to you, Roku. And I don't know. But and also it seems a little bit like revisionist history almost. Like we know what happened.
A little bit.
We like
Now, I'm gonna
and I
set
know
the.
that I know that's a weird thing to say off of fiction that they're doing revisionist history,
Listen,
but
it's never a bad time to teach, parallel real concepts. I'll say it it does feel a bit like a salvage job, but like, and listen, I'm not saying that we don't deserve to learn about maybe some of Roku's better characteristics, right? There's probably some in there somewhere. But even those, like, we saw him as Aang's guide of just being like a helpful, wizened old avatar.
yeah,
I'll still. We're gonna read it. There's an okay chance that we're gonna be fine with it or better. But like, pick a different target. It's a big universe out there.
it is that's the thing is that it is a freaking massive
It's as
universe.
big as you want it
Like,
to be. Go farther in the future. Go
yeah.
farther in the past. Do anything.
It is a really it's kind of how Star Wars is like stuck on Skywalker stuff
I know it.
and
Okay, so we have to preface this by saying that neither of us is the biggest Star Wars person, and we accept that. But this might be the reason why. No, it might be one reason why. is that it's Star Wars. The whole universe is at their disposal, and we hear about 8 people, and they all gotta be in all of each other's TV shows every time.
Um, there are some there are some little bit interesting things here.
Fair enough. Let's focus on positives.
Now the part that is kind of the cliffhanger almost is that this island, this this remote island, it has some type of secret behind it. They say, what does it
That's
say?
fun.
It says Roku fights for his life and the lives of others while ensuring that the hidden secrets of the island doesn't fall into the wrong hands. What could those secrets be? No, like I know it's not. Better not be unanimity again. Like,
It's just Sparky Boom Man's home.
could you,
That's all
could
it
you,
is.
could you imagine?
The Sparky Boom Dad and
Uh,
Sparky Boom Mom and little
but
Sparky
this,
Babe.
so like, why would the Earth Kingdom be interested in this island? So, but I feel like it's also going to be. I feel like they're going to try and paint a little more better picture of not only Roku but of Sozin.
Okay.
It's gonna be like, oh well, and oh, then and I'm not. I don't really like that necessarily because Sozin is the
Uh,
he 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 did genocide.
I don't think
Like
better
I
is
don't want you. I guess maybe provide more paint a more
I can't
distinct
think of
picture
the
of it,
word.
but
Maybe it's
yeah,
more justify isn't the right word. Painting a better picture is not quite because it's not. But you get more context. Like maybe he's not just a bad guy that wants to take over the world. He's just like an empirical ruler trying to expand his territory, which is like less forgivable, but more of like a realistic villain setup. You know, he like you'll get more of the less of the generic bad guy overlord and more of the like, no, I'm a king trying to expand my very successful empire like kings are wont to do throughout history. Maybe get more of
yeah.
that fleshing out. Not necessarily better. I don't know if that's. I'm trying to think of the right word for it.
It is the size of it is the page number count is relatively the same as the others. It's about 380, I think is what I read, somewhere around there. Um, let's see if there's anything else interesting. Oh, when it comes to like me and Gyatso, sure, it does feel very much like solo-ish. Oh, we got to put Gyatso in here. That was a really cool thing about the Kyoshi novels. It's like we met so many new people, and they completely connected with us.
Look at all the content that spawned for us, like all the content, that kind of stuff, inspired just by having new characters and new stories to work with. Like we were that much more engaged in the universe. Is it fair to
Yeah.
say? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, maybe I'm just not as excited because Avatar Roku is probably my least favorite. No, it's not. Zeto is until
Until
he
we
gets
tell the
real treatment.
Zeto
Yeah,
story, yeah.
and his
And so,
story is way better.
because someday I feel like we really are just gonna turn into the podcast that like one week, like week at a time, we just tell our narrative, right? Like one chapter per week or something. We'll just flesh it out over
Yeah,
time live. Uh, but we're gonna tell his
hey,
story. I've
I'm cool with that.
I've never listened to one of those before. We should probably do that so we know. Should probably not just jump into it, but we'll figure it out. Um, I'm not trying to stretch for positives, but I am trying to empathize a little bit as we dive into this new world of Avatar Studios. It probably makes good business sense to have some familiar faces in some of this early content. And you know what people like maybe more than Roku is this Gyatso tie-in. Like, let's see more of this. People love Aang. Let's see more of this pre-Aang. And so, I'm, again, trying to
And
just
here it
empathize with the
says,
choice.
he's irritating.
It does say irritating, and I assume that's from Roku's perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
But can you imagine instead of just throwing regular pies,
Oh my gosh.
with the Firebender's help, throwing flaming pies? How cool would that be? But I see a business case for this choice?
Yeah. The author, a little bit about the author. So I said his name before. His name is Randy Rybe. He has written like 4 or so books. I'm pretty sure they're all critically acclaimed. Um, one of them is called After the Shot Drops, and it's about basketball. And Shawn, I want to read you the
No
synopsis of this
kidding.
book because I laughed about
Well,
it.
it's
All right.
cool that it's about basketball. Like, what are the chances that this
Yeah,
crossover,
all
this
right.
Venn diagram, that it consists of
Maybe
us
yeah.
and this author?
Maybe we can get him on the show and do a basketball avatar across the
I
anyway.
hope so. But
But
yeah, go ahead.
a powerful novel anyway. A powerful novel about friendship, basketball, and one team's mission to create a better life for its family. Written in the tradition of Jason Reynolds, whatever. Okay, that part's not important. Uh, so here's a synopsis. Bunny and Azir have been best friends forever, but when Bunny accepts an athletic scholarship across town, Azir feels betrayed. So when I read that, I laughed out loud because I was like, "Oh, that sounds like Roku and Sozin." Like when Roku got the Avatar hood, Sozin felt betrayed.
They, he just took that novel structure and he's just gonna what do you call it? A palette swap? He's just gonna palette swap that novel.
Yeah,
That's kind
yeah.
of amazing. I actually hope that's what's happening.
Oh, if you're curious, it then goes on to while Bunny or Roku tries to fit in with his new privileged peers, Nazir Sozin spends more time with his cousin Wallace. No metaphor ends there. Who is being evicted. Nazir can't help but wonder why the neighborhood. Oh wait, maybe Wallace is the Fire Nation in this metaphor. And Wallace, who is being evicted, Nazir can't help but wonder why the neighborhood is falling over itself to help Bunny when Wallace is in trouble. Like, why is the world so infatuated with Roku while the Fire Nation is in trouble? I don't know. Anyway,
That
but
one,
we do
yeah,
know the
that
Fire
one's a little
Nation.
harder to parallel. That
Yeah, it's
bit.
okay. Okay.
Well,
All
but
right,
if
I'm
we
done with
read
that
it,
part.
maybe we'd have time to develop our parallel a little better.
Yeah. They also had another book called An Infinite Number of Parallel Universes, which is a book I actually sent. This is the book that I was like, oh, it sounds interesting, and I'll never read it. 4 friends from wildly different backgrounds have bonded over Dungeons and Dragons since the 6th grade. Now they're
Oh,
facing senior
Stranger
year in a
Things,
major.
cool.
All right, this was written in 2015, I think.
Oh, nice.
And now they're facing senior year and a major shift in their own universe. Math whiz Archie is struggling with his parents' divorce after his dad comes out as gay. Marie is terrified of her adoptive mother's life-altering news. Dante is carrying around a huge secret that is proving impossible to keep hidden. And when Sam gets stumped by the love of his life, everyone is ready to join him on a cross-country quest to win her back. The four quickly discover that the road is not forgiving, and that real life is no game. They must face a test of friendship where the stakes are more than just a roll of the dice. They are life and death. So the reason why I went and read some of the synopsis of books, I'm curious if he does a lot more. This sounds a little bit more relationshipy than at least the Yang Chen novels do. Um, of course, the Kyoshi novels were like filled with relationship stuff, but
Like the FC novels, they always like obviously they have relationship components in them, but they're rarely the key spectacle within the novel. Whereas in what you just described, those are the core of the novel. Be
yeah.
interesting to see if that plays out with Gyatso and
Now there is a well. There's always been a fan theory that Sozin and Roku had an unrequited love. I don't know which way between the other ones. Some say that like Sozin was like a closeted gay, and also he couldn't get over his love of Roku and betrayal and stuff. That's also like he was just a self-hating. That's a fan theory. Uh, Self-hating gay person who because also Sozin went on to like implement um like bans on different sexualities and things like that, which might come from some type of self-hate. So some fans have did a little bit of speculating there. I'm not sure they'll dive into that. If they do, sure, why not? But I don't know,
I'd be a little
villainizing.
surprised, but I've been wrong
Yeah.
a lot, so hey. Sorry,
I just want to
I'm
point out
sorry.
because it is
I'm not
a.
saying I'd be a little surprised if the fan theory is correct. That's not too critical. I'd be surprised if they delved that far, if they delved that way in this book. Sorry,
Yeah.
didn't mean to critique the fan theory itself.
Not to find a fan
Yeah,
theory. There's enough there. I think maybe even I did I say something about it in
we've talked about it
the
before.
video sometime?
I
Okay.
couldn't even begin to tell you which video, but I know it has come up before.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really have that much more to add about the Roku novel. Of course, want to read it day one, probably within the first week.
As we
It'll be
do,
interesting. This will
as we
be
do. Yeah.
yeah. This will be the first Avatar book from a male's perspective. Just be interesting to see that different dynamic. Um, and
Chris,
I don't know.
also
It's still that book.
it's a nice segue into our topic of next week. Next week we're talking about villains, and there's like a nice segue in here somewhere that we could probably spend too much time digging through about discussing the difference between a bad guy and a villain, or a bad person and a villain, etc., etc. There's probably a nice segue in there somewhere,
Yeah,
right? No offense,
yeah,
Roku.
I am curious to see who the bad guy will be in this book. I have no real speculation of it, but I'm sure they could possibly rank high in a ranking of the big bads of Avatar.
Someday we'll have to do and or redo that video. Chris, final thoughts? Anything you want to wrap up other than just, again, we'll read it, and I'm sure, like I said, there's at least an okay chance that we will like it or be okay with it or better,
I might
despite all my
even,
complaints.
if I had to put a percent chance on, there's probably an 80% chance that I will like it.
I think that's a very
There's
reasonable guess.
probably a 10% chance that I will love it,
That's
and a
exactly what I was
10%
thinking.
chance that I would just be like, whatever. I enjoyed the world building and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 70 to 80 that I'm okay with it to like it, and then a little on each side. That's right where I'm at.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
ultimately, hey, in the end, I hope it is good, because I hope it is successful, because I hope Avatar Studios is successful. That's it. Hey, my name's Shawn Shaler. That's Chris Ford. That's Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter and Planet Comic Con fame. Wait, it's more of a
That
local.
is true.
It's more of a local fame, but to me, that one hits right here. And
Yes.
this has been Avatar the Last Podcasters. Thank you for watching or listening. If you can give us any likes or reviews or comments, all of it is helpful. Or even hit the dislike button if you feel like that. That's fine. Do whatever. We
Don't
appreciate
do that.
your
If you
interactions
dare
with
do
us.
that. I don't appreciate that at all.
Follow your
F.
heart.
Not,
Follow your heart.
gotta
I'll put all the
follow the thumb up button.
Chris, don't dissuade people from speaking their minds. Although, what could you possibly have bad to say about us?
If
Don't
if you
answer that
don't
question.
like it, put it in the comments.
All right, you know what? Actually, yeah. If you don't like it, give us the constructive criticism down in the comments before you hit the dislike button. Let's have discourse. Let's have a conversation. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll put the stuff in the description as always. And we'll talk to you next time. Chris, you're right. I did chuckle when you mentioned his other novel was about basketball, because I did not expect that to be that author's other topics of specialty.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, two other books I didn't read their synopsis to it, but
Gonna go out on a limb and say there's not actually a lot of basketball